how do you progress in your education through a BA, a master's, and a PhD? Much of it is an education in education, learning how to play the game. And Donald Trump is less willing to play the game than any American president in my memory, right? Part of the game of expertise is forming alliances and forming clubs and groups and patting each other on the back and saying, oh, this person's an expert because he studied under me, he got a PhD, like he jumped through these bureaucratically recognized hurdles, now he's an expert.
It's kind of a protection racket. But I also think he likes to talk big as a way of gaining leverage. You know, that's been part of his MO. Would he really want to blow it up if he thought,
talking about NATO,
or people were told him, you know, this will destroy your legacy? No, I mean, he's going to be obsessed with what his legacy, possibly Australia. They say, okay, we got to get nuclear weapons. And
so talking about the decline of NATO,
for that asset to fall into Chinese hands,
talking about Taiwan now, right? Saying it will lead to nuclear expansion
is a big deal. It's also a big deal if they have that island, not only with its resources of people and high technology, but just its physical position and the danger that it then poses for Japan and other countries. Furthermore, if after everything we have done and said about Taiwan, we let it slip into the hands of China, then there again, I think either the local Asian powers simply make their peace with China and accommodate it as the hegemon, or equally likely, I think in the case of Japan and possibly Australia, they say, okay, we got to get nuclear weapons. And I think that's not a world that we want. We are just not used to the idea that you could have a cascade of nuclear proliferation. If you give up on Taiwan after, and certainly if the administration were to give up on Ukraine as well, America's...
So Barack Obama graduated from Harvard Law School, and he talks like a member of the elite. He talks how academics speak. Donald Trump does not.
Word will be mud. And what people don't understand is that so much of our power in the world and our ability to set the rules and our ability to create a world order that benefits us, which isn't something that Trump always understands, is because of our alliance systems. And to jeopardize those is to do tremendous damage to the United States as well as the rest.
Yeah. But I remember when Russell Roberts was commenting on the case for free trade, the free market economist, and he said that he believes in free trade because it's good for the Chinese as well as for Americans. The welfare of the Chinese was just as important to him as the welfare of Americans. So many of our alliances, you can make a very strong case that they are no longer in America's best interests. They may well be in Poland's best interests or South Korea's best interests, but why would the United States not want to operate primarily on the basis of what is in America's best interest? So you see with Donald Trump, many of the characteristics of the more visceral personality, the opposite personality from those who populate the culture of careful critical discourse. And philosopher Ronnie Goodman writes about it in his great book, Conservative Claims of Cultural Oppression. And he notes that the medievals were distinguished not by their amorality or egoism, but by a fundamentally different mental and emotional landscape. And you could say the same thing about Donald Trump and other people who are on the right. Right? The medievals lived in a society where individuals gave way to their impulses. Right?